Peace, YouTube. This is an emergency message from the Andromedans. I've had some serious contact, and I have disconcerting message. And just it isn't disconcerting, but it's a warning. So check on in. I'll wait. Last time, YouTube was up for the shenanigans, so they try to stop me from giving this message. So I'll wait. Hopefully until 500, check on in. This is a very important message, and this is for the sea stars. Um, Again, when I give a message of this magnitude, I always tell you because it's going to be a little concerning to hear. And this is also for the woman, the sea stars with wombs. Um, Please understand, gentlemen, just listen. It really, this message is for the warning for the sea stars. As you know, the Andromedans is a total female group of what you would consider to be, well, what I've called before as galactics, but some of them know them as cosmonauts, or some of you would say extraterrestrial, which is just a very generic name, or I would say, even at this point with my consciousness, I'm overstanding, understanding, they're most likely interdimensionals. Okay, so this message is very disconcerting. It is a warning from the Andromedans. I had contact, heavy contact, and it was over the last couple days under the understanding that it was from the Ethugians, but now I understand what it was. So check on NC stars, sun stars, fine, but this message is to the wombs, the women with wombs. Very important that I say that because there is a coordinated attack. It's happening. It's been happening, but it's going to be more intense. So wait until we get to 500. Again, I hope this stays up. I hope, again, I do apologize. YouTube, they are so uh they're just toxic. Even though I've been on this platform for a long time, y'all, I mean, I'm the most targeted on YouTube. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Because they're not up for the shenanigans. Check on in, y'all. I'll wait until we get to 500. It's a very important sea stars, obuelitas, aunties, titis. Put the little ones. It's very important because Florburn is going to say things that might be a little disconcerting. So please put the little ones inside of another room, or if you have some Crayola crayons, or give them some paper. I'll give you time because once we get to 500, go put your earbuds on, mummies or grandmas. Put your earbuds on so that they don't hear this conversation. It's very important. This message has to get out. I've had heavy contact, but last night was the heaviest. And I mean, I didn't know how everything was going to pull in to this conversation. But even me coming on in here, I was a little nervous to give this information. So check on in. This is a emergency message to the womb men, the woman, the female, the biological females. It's very important that I tell you that. Biological females, okay? Gentlemen, if you want to listen, this is not anything that's really necessarily it's maybe inadvertently connected to you if you love your mom, your sister, your daughters. I mean, I think it would be helpful if you are, it can be very hard for men to hear this message as this is coming from the Andromedans, and you know how the Andromedans feel about the males on this planet. But this is solely for females. So come on and check on them. We'll wait until 500. And like I said, put the little ones inside or put your earbuds on, okay, so that they don't hear um, this conversation, because I don't know how it's going to go. And once I start, I want to try to be unfiltered, okay, if you know what I mean. So check on in. Okay, this is the monkey balls apocalyptics, y'all. It's been activated, so I need women on deck. There is a usurp, and it is happening, and other women are responsible for hurting other women. So it's not only what I'm going to talk about, but there are for some of you got Big Bird, who's a diabolical, but we got wild birds. We got crow females. They look like crows. They've got like wide noses, like beaks. These women are Insepticons. They are here to set up other women. and we've got the activation of the weaponized wands. That's what I'm saying. Don't have anybody on here that you don't want to hear. Flurboon is about that life. When I share the message, it's going to be wild. So check on in, Sunstars. If you're here, just brace yourself because it's going to be something that may affect your mother, your sister, and your daughters. Okay. And if you love your women in your life, my sun stars, if you love them with every breath in your soul, you are going to have to stand up and protect your sea stars. You first family. Before you protect any other women outside of your family, I don't care if it's your girlfriend, protect your mother and your sister and your daughters first. This is how diabolical it is, y'all. Check on in. Once the Andromedans gave me this message, and again, I have some of it written on my phone, but I'm on my phone. So, is the volume okay? My eyes, I'm not shape shifting. For those who like to say I'm shape shifting, I'm not. Don't even say I'm shape shifting. I have my I like to call my 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 what do I call it? I'm being oh God, I always say something with my glasses. Uh Well, anyway, I got too much on my mind. So normally I say a saying that's a little cute and funny, but this is a very serious message. So make sure everyone in here, if you're first checking in, tell the other ones, all the mommies. We have a lot of obolitas. We have a lot of aunties, TTs in here, tontes. We have to tell them to put the little ones inside. This is a very disconcerting message. It is a warning that is necessary. It's going to be very helpful. And again, gentlemen, if you stay in here and like I said, this message may be disconcerting for you, but this is for the women, for them to protect themselves. And this is a direct message from the Andromedans. It is a call, and I'm the only one who's getting this particular message from them because most of the women have been taken over by other groups of women that are diabolical. And now I know why Wild Bird and Big Bird are Incepticons. Women are incepting these Eastern Star Messianic women, these honeypots, these old crow pots are inside of all of the different groups. So check on in, y'all. There's inception from all different angles. That's why it's a very important message because we have a lot of wonderful moms and sea stars who are unaware, and I'm going to give you some warnings of what to look for. So I'm waiting until we get to 500. Hopefully we can get there. I'm trying to, uh, oh, my incognito glasses. I just remembered these, my incognito glasses. Um, Check on in. I have to remember everything. I wrote some on my phone, so I have to remember everything. Sometimes when I have contact, the Andromedans don't visit as often as they used to. And again, they'll do it uh, once you are incepted, or they feel like you're about to be incepted by a weaponized wand. So it's a combination platter. There's some of us who've been seeded by the Andromedans. Many of you know, I don't want to go over the historical references. You can watch my videos, go back to when I was having heavy contact, the information I gave from the Andromedans. But this message is a big Andromedans, and it's a big message. And it also goes into the message I was given by the penguins when I was in Argentina. Okay. So in Argentina, the penguins, remember, big up to our family in Argentina. Um, Remember I was in Argentina for a while and those little beings gave me a message and the message at the time was already disconcerting. But because it was out of context, um it's appropriate now for the message. Okay? So whether you put a like or not, hopefully the message will stay. I don't know if the likes help. I used to think that likes help. I don't know. I can't even be concerned about it. So check on in. I don't know if they're gonna stop me before 500. They did it last time. Willy Wonka and his League of Doom are out of control. Well, maybe the likes will tell me how many people are actually in here because it's saying there's only three. I think that's three. Is that three? 350? It says it's only 350. They messed with our numbers last time, y'all. Okay. I'm holding my phone. I'm not very technologically sound. Just, forgive me. I know many of you have better technology than Flurburn. I'm not about I'm about another kind of life, okay? And I know that technology is always incepted. So if you're in here, can you put a like so I know how many people are in here? How about that? Will that let me know? I don't know. I don't know if they'll let me know. We'll see. Okay, it's getting up there, okay? Thank you, my loves. So, just if you have high blood pressure, I'm sorry. I gotta give a warning. I don't know how you're gonna take it. Um, I'm a little over the top today. And yes, where's Brenna's? I did have coffee, so it's gonna make the message more like amped up. Once I have coffee for me is like I remember I was off the wagon and I fell off the wagon of coffee. I had to have coffee. I didn't wanna have coffee, but when I got the message and I had contact with the Andromedans, it's my only vice, okay? It's one of my only vice. I'm not sipping on the yak, I'm not smoking, I don't do all that craziness. I had some coffee. So, if you could tolerate the fast talk, but if you had high blood pressure, this video you may wanna take in doses. I don't know how far I'll go, I don't know how much I'll give you. Um, Tonight, I'll talk to you guys on Zoom. So, Zombies, I'll talk to you a little more. But the Zombies know about the Ethusian message, so I'll kinda tie it in because I was getting contact for a while, and it was different doses of it, and last night, I got a full contact from the Andromedans, and again, it's a little frightening. Um, it's frightening in that we have to take action. There isn't any more, like, tippy-toeing or pussyfooting around the corner, like, we can't just Da, 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 that's gone. It's a wrap, sea stars. We are called to action for our own benefit of our own families. We're not even talking about the collective yet. Because once you do for your family, then you can work for the collective. That's why I say, Sun Stars, if you're in here, this message, it would be helpful if you have a mom that you love, a sister, a daughter. But this message, you got to be careful not getting gaslit because this message is solely for the sea stars. If you listen, it's about you protecting your own family, okay? So, check on in. And you know about the Bioborg, the first, robot lady who is making all these threats of sending children into AI classrooms, and before we get to 500, I don't know if you remember, and it's crazy because right when Cucarachis came out in 2019, because it was here in 2018. Many of you know my mom had gotten sick. They called it Legionnaires, but we know it was the beta test for the cucarachis, which is COVID, Corona, what they first called it, and they changed it. They changed the name, so you don't understand what it was for. And when it first came out, I was living in Orlando, and many of I used to go to Universal Studios, and if you've gone to Universal Studios, whether it's California or Florida, you do remember a particular ride. It was the Terminator ride. Now, if anybody, I'm waiting until we get to 500, so I'm just talking to you a little bit. And on the Terminator ride, there was this one thing at the beginning before you got in the ride. It was not a ride, like a seated theater. Before you went to the theater, they would have this whole like, you stand in the hallway and they have this whole theatrical like video where you're watching like, Skynet took over and how it started. And it started with children sitting in one classroom, and there was one AI teacher that was teaching every single classroom all around the world. It showed Shaquille O'Neal had a robotoid eye, and he was able to get the perfect jump shot so his eye would fit, dilate to where that it was like a red eye and he could see and give a perfect shot. It talked about having all this um holographic interface. Y'all, we being set up. It's a setup, it's a trap, and sea stars, you're gonna have to. I know it's gonna be hard for you. Some of you got some wands that you like. You're gonna have to make some strong decisions for yourself and your family, especially if you have children, and especially if you have young children and female children. Boys are up for it as well. Okay, so check on in. I don't know if you remember that ride. If anybody went to Universal, you remember that ride. That was a setup. And why I mentioned that ride at Universal, that attraction, right when Cucarachis hit in 2020, they got rid of it, y'all. They got rid of it. You know why they got rid of it? Because that was them having a show of futuristic events, but once the future caught up, they took away the ride, so you no longer had the Terminator ride. They didn't want you putting together what was really happening, so they took away the ride. That's why I mention it. So I think the ride was gone in like 20, because I remember going and I was like, wow, because it was one of my rides. I like to see all that crazy scientific stuff, so I can see how they're setting humanity up. But they took it away, and that's why I knew. Just like the um what is it? The Georgia Guidestones. Whenever something is about to come and be activated, they'll get rid of the proof that it was like the ritual for it to come in. So the Georgia Guidestones was like the preamp to talking about how humanity was going to be cut. Basically, 70% of the population would be destroyed or exterminated to, bring on the one world order, whatever, what have you. And as soon as many of you remember, it was when I was driving to the Georgia Guidestones that night, they destroyed it. So I actually think me going to the Georgia Guidestones is why they destroyed it. Because I was the first time I was going to go see it. Now, many of you remember, some of you were on me with me in Zoom when I was driving and we went to the Georgia Guidestones. It was closed and we were going to go the next day. And that's when they blew it up that night. Okay. So check on in, y'all. I hope you up for the shenanigans. For anybody walking in, we got a couple more people to go to 500. Just put the little ones inside, please. This is an emergency message to women, man, women with wombs. Notice that I say that. Women with wombs. This message is directly for you. Others can listen to it, but it is to you. It is an emergency message about the weaponized wands and the monkey balls apocalypse and the activation of direct assault and extra uh and what is it? Like the deliberate kidnapping and destruction of the wombs. So check on them. They've activated the weaponized wand, y'all. They're activated. I don't think the message for little people. So check on in. This is a message from the Andromedans. I had a couple of contact by the Ethugians, which is really basically the hub of the Andromedans and other Octorians and other groups. But this specifically is from the Andromedans. And I'm always grateful to get it because they don't like when women, we are under the tutelage of being guided by toxic and aggressive and genetically homogenized males. They actually said that 90% of the males via the shots that they get from babies are all directly weaponized towards the females on the planet. That's why we're seeing all these murders of females, y'all. I'm going to say wild things on here. You do not have to resonate. If you have high blood pressure, I'm giving you a warning. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm mentally ill. Don't listen to me. That's my PSI for you. If you have high blood pressure, if you feel really stressed, if you can't take people giving this, and yes, this is a fear mongering video. Other people say, oh, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. If you can't tolerate it, don't come in the kitchen. I'm 3 Sagittariuses and I'm a motherfucking rat. I'm hot, and my hormones are out of control. Do not come to this video if you can't tolerate it. Okay? I give you the warning because a lot of people are like, oh my God, Flurburn, you're seeing these things I can't tell. If you can't take the heat, do not come to my kitchen. I'm giving you the warning. Some channels will lie to you and gaslight you. I tell you, there's no chasers here today. I gotta try to bring it back home at the end, but I can't tell you how it's gonna go because once I start this conversation, once I give you the warning, it's for you to either take it or leave it. And again, you can just say, you know what, this video is too much. She's already amped up. She drank coffee today. She might be too much. Let me leave. I don't need the Andromeda message. I want peace in my life. That would be a good decision. Just check on out of the video. You got a warning. This is beyond purple pill. You know when the fire gets so hot it's blue? This is this kind of video. So it is what it is. I there's nothing I can do about it. Andromedans don't like certain things. They don't really care about the dynamics of uh appropriateness. So when they give me a message and I have to filtrate that and give it to you, I already am not the best. Yeah, I'm probably the one who will gaslight you the most. I'm just an incinerator. So take it as you want to. Okay. And if you think I'm crazy, then this message isn't for you. I could be crazy. I could be all kinds of Looney Tunes. I could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. If you believe that, then probably you should log off. I don't need. Okay, so we're at 500. Let's get into it. So, peace to the east, to the west, and north, and south. This is Flurburn with an emergency message from the Andromedans. Check on in. I'm sorry that I have to come in this way. I'm kind of amped up. Had to build up to this. So, we have now an emergency contact from the Andromedans saying that all women who will hear this message have to be on super duper alert for their own health, for their own protection, and for the security of the families. They have disseminated and now have activated all the weaponized wands on this planet. And most of them have been activated via Kukarachi kill shots and other shots that were purposefully disseminated in male children from the time they were born. Um, I don't know if many of you remember when I was in Argentina, the penguins had given contact and they were scared for me and asking why I was walking around freely as a woman, because this was a time that women were assaulted and attacked and killed off before the reset. Now at the time I didn't have context because I was like, wow, they told me the story of Snow White was a misinterpretation of a fairy tale that was really not a fairy tale. It was a warning to women that they changed and romanticized it. It was about the woman that was being hunted down, and she came out of the village, and it was the penguins that saved her from being murdered and targeted and kidnapped by all of the weaponized males that were around that were activated. Um, right now the Andromedans is saying they have now activated, because that's what we're seeing, is that all of those satellites that are falling out of the sky, that are purposely falling out, those are the ones that were trying to they weren't necessarily protecting us, but those are the ones that would have held back some of the newer technology that was disseminated. That fake Artemis, that Artemis satellite, no, that Artemis ship, that thing, it was meant, they didn't go to the freaking moon. This is, listen, I'm a quack. I have to put this out because I don't know if they'll let this video stay up. I'm a quack. I'm a crazy person. Don't listen to me. I could be a Looney Tunes. If this message isn't for you, don't take it. The Artemis was not to go to the moon. It was to activate the satellite that they had been building up there. That's why all the older ones are falling out of the sky, to activate that. And what it does is it activates the Bluetooth in men and weaponized wands. That's why a lot of men are killing their families. They're going around killing women and kidnapping them. It was purposefully put in a lot of our male children. I don't want to gaslight. Listen, this is a message from the Andromedans. I'm going to give it to you, and I told you it's not going to be a chaser. You got to be careful, sea stars. They have been activated. That Artemis went up to pull the switch. It was a switch that they pushed to make it so that women now will be targeted more than ever. You have to protect your families. The Andromedans said right now, because there was a chip that was placed into mostly 90% of the boys, especially if they were vaccinated, from little children, not even the Kukarachi one. The Kukarachi is the extra kill shot. It's the extra backup system that will allow them to be activated if the first hardware didn't work. So if the first chip was deactivated from when they were little boys, the second one, the Kukarachi kill shot. So all males that got the Kukarachi kill shot, y'all, I'm telling you, this is a message from the Andromedans. I don't want to give it to you. That's why I said it's going to trigger you. All males that got the Kukarachi kill shot, they are definitively activated right now as a weaponized wand. Their goal internally is to destroy you, to take you out, to take your womb out. All of their sperm will be toxic. It is going to go inside and disseminate all kinds of Magellan type of weaponized sperm. They are active. They don't know it. It's not their fault. I don't want it. That's what I'm saying. Sun stars, do not get triggered by this. It's a message that I have to get. The Andromedans are about this life, and they're here to protect women. They understand that this is a USEP. It's purposeful. There's nothing we can do about it other than protect ourselves and our children. Sea stars, you have to be mindful now. It's not even mindful. You're going to have to protect yourself with every ounce of your wit, your intuition. Clean your bodies out. You got to pay attention. There's no more going out on casual dates or, loosey goosey. The males have been weaponized. They have been tagged, and their hardware has been activated. And many of you already know this because you're experiencing it now. Sometimes you're spies, and the men that don't want to hurt women, a lot of them are dying. They're dying out of the blue. A lot of men are just dropping dead because they're not willing. It's like they're going against the hardware and they're fighting it, maybe consciously, subconsciously. Maybe their biology won't allow them to hurt any women. So they're not even maybe able to make it. And I'm telling you, it's what the Andromeda said. You're going to see a lot of males just drop dead because they won't do what the hardware, the chip is making them want to do. They're getting thoughts in their head. They're literally That's why they had pushed for a lot of these males to start being disconnected from females. They purposefully were trying to disconnect males by socializing them, by conditioning them with pornography, with food sources, with putting stuff in their clothing, with social conditioning. They were trying to do it. But a lot of males who have a natural propensity of loving and being protective, they're going to fight themselves. And you don't want to be in there activating it. It's like imagine someone who has a natural imprint to want to kill something, and they're fighting it every day, and they have to fight those thoughts because they don't want to do it because they can't help it. This is a message from the Andromedans. I know it sounds crazy, y'all. They gave me the warning, and that's why I said, if this cannot, I'm going to go further. I'm going to go further, but I'm just letting you know, Sea Stars, you may think I'm crazy. I know it sounds crazy. All these years you've known me, I won't give you a message like this. I wouldn't give something like this because, as you know, I love males. Big up to the Sun Stars. Sun Stars, don't get triggered because many of you already can't. Listen, protect. If you're conscious enough and you know that isn't something inside of you, protect your mothers, protect your sea star, your sisters, and your daughters first. I'm telling you, you're going to have to do it because if you don't have that inkling inside of you, and many of the males I already spoke to two already, they say they're fighting it. They have thoughts in their head that are not coming from themselves. Y'all, this is true. I had to always vet it out before I give you the message. They're fighting it. Sun Stars, if you love your mother, your sister, because they're dating, they're out there, they have men in their lives, you're going to have to protect your own family first before you even try to help us. I don't even have that expectation for you. I want you to protect your own families. They've activated that. Artemis was a psyop. They didn't go to the goddamn moon, y'all. They went to that satellite to push the button to activate it, y'all. To activate them because right before reset and pole shift, they're going to trigger a response because they got to get rid of women. Women have the codes, y'all. That's why they're trying to make sure they either kidnap women, kill them off, or have control of them. This is the goal. So initially were being cultivated to self-implode or to destroy themselves. It's not fast enough, it's not quick enough. So now they push the button. Artemis was them going up to the satellite. There's no goddamn moon up there that they can go up to. They can't leave the stratosphere because they don't have the capacity, they don't have the melanin, they don't have the hardware, there's nowhere they're going. They went up to the goddamn what is it called? The killer satellite that's up there that's knocking all the other satellites off with all kinds of craziness. So I don't want to go into that technological aspect. There's probably people who are already have that information that will come out. That's not for me to do. It's to give a woman's warning to all women, all lunar women, Asian women, brown women, American women. Stay out of group setting. They're going to set you up. And you've got these crow-like, it's all a setup. They have set up these other groups of women that are basically disseminated for like years. They're building trusts with other women. They're grouping up and they're set up women. I call them well, I call them the crows. Remember when they had this concept of shape shifting women that used to shapeshift from birds to humans. And just like there's sirens, like sirens have this, sirens always said to like, not necessarily mermaids, but sirens are always said to be the ones that sing to the sailors, and they're the ones that eat the sailors. They entrain their brains, and they put them under mind control to make them susceptible to being taken underneath the water, drowned, and then eaten. There's something we have with these crow-like women, these bird-like women. Their noses, how you can identify their noses are really wide, like they look like beaks. Their noses look like beaks. These are another shape-shifting kind of women. They've been disseminated throughout all of our groups. They're just man-centered women. They will placate like they're all about women, but everything in their life, what they do doesn't follow what they say. This is the beauty of knowing these things, is that you're going to have the dissemination. They've already been disseminated of these women that go around. They're literally like there's oh, what a beautiful bird. They're set up. They're like I wouldn't call them honeypots. They're not honeypots, they're honey birds. They're like birds, like bird box bird box birds. Like they're set up to create structures and groups so that they can set up women so they can catch you. Like bird boxes. So it's almost like, like a cage, like it's open and they have all these great things inside and they're catching other women. So be careful with groups of women that are setting up to set you up. And how you'll know, because not all women are like this, but there's a few that have been purposefully set up in our communities to set other women up, to lure other women to basically capture them, to encapsulate them. So they're like, how would you know? Like some of the things you'll know is like if they say things, they don't follow. This is an easy way for you to identify them. If they say things outwardly, verbally, it should match the way that they live their life. If they say that they're motherly, their children should be wonderful expressions of it. Remember, someone could say that they're wonderful. They could tell you how great they are. They could say how much they want you to be. They love your children. They think you should be a wonderful mother. But in their own lives, if their children are not the testimony to how great their mothers, that's how you know that's a lie. So anybody who's placating themselves, like I think like how Rod Hayes says, Big Mama, all these women are saying they're big mamas. If their children are not testimonies of the type of mothers that they are, the kind of great mothers that they're saying that they are, that projecting onto you that they should be, that lets you know that that's not true. So I always say a great vetter of these Incepticon women that are set out here to encapsulate and trap other women, look at their children. Are their children a testimony of how good a good big mama has daughters and sons that can vouch for them? If their own children cannot vouch for them being great people, that is someone. And that is the great testimony that you should be able to visually see. I mean, visually see in their lives. It should be a proof that these people are good, healthy people, that they're happy people, that they're really progenerating the actual um the whatever they're trying to do. There's different women in all different groups. I can't speak on everyone, but that's a great way to tell if they're saying that they want good for your family, then their family should be the expression of that. There isn't anyone who should be telling you to be a good person or to do good things, and you can't see it in the expression because we take care of our families first. A good big mama is always going to have her cubs and her children be the testimony and the proof of the pudding of who she is. Okay, that's how you'll be able to tell. So that's I don't want to go too deep into it, but you got to watch women out here, these crow-like women. They look like crows. We were talking about it. We got Wild Bird out here, which I just found out was a whole fraud. And then we know Big Bird is a fraud. She pays for, but she's whatever. So let's go back into the protection of women. Right now, if you are already pregnant, this is my opinion, y'all. Remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. They're gonna say I'm a quack quack. You could take this message, you could leave it. It's always gonna be your first choice. If you're a woman and you're pregnant, I, as a woman, wouldn't give birth in a hospital anywhere in the United States. I wouldn't feel secure. I wouldn't feel safe. They are tagging the toes of children, whether you know it or not. They want to make sure they document because they are now stockpiling babies and women under the ground, getting ready for reset in the pole shift. Okay. So I wouldn't do it. This is my personal opinion. If I was a woman who was pregnant right now, I would take $2,500 of my hard earned money and I would take my happy butt if I'm not too far in term and I would take myself over into another country and I wouldn't document and tell anybody where my child is born. I wouldn't tell them anything and give birth happy somewhere in a private area with a doula and a wonderful midwife close to somewhere where they're not documenting my child, and I would give birth privately. I wouldn't give birth. They are going to try to keep your afterbirth, which will prolong their lifespan. They're going to try to keep it and also have your DNA and your information so that they can encapsulate it and replicate it and maybe clone it in a test tube baby below the ground. Listen, the Andromedans said this is all purposefully done. They're stockpiling. This is the end of the cycle. They are stockpiling gene pools, just like you save seeds. They're saving your information. They're saving your baby's information. And if you decide to give birth in a hospital, this is what I would do. I would make all doctors and the hospital sign. I have to give my babies after birth, and if they don't give it to me, they give me $50,000. This is what I would do. Okay, so if I was a pregnant woman right now and I know I'm nervous and I can't travel out the country, I don't have the privilege, I would make sure that everything that comes out of my body in that hospital, I take home with me, including my baby, and that no one has contact with my child except my husband or myself. If I was a mother right now giving birth, any mother, whether I was a lunar mother, an Asian mother, I wouldn't have anyone touch my child except myself. And if I give birth, I would have the hospital, the OBGYN, anybody who would have the hospital sign off that my afterbirth has to be given and not taken. My baby's blood has to be released into the baby completely, and a delay of cord cutting so that the baby's blood is not taken, because the blood that stays inside the cord, when they cut it too quickly, they take that blood and they encapsulate it and they take it and they store it. This is my opinion. I would do that. I'm giving a lot of information, y'all. It's quick. It's not appropriate for men. If you feel like men, you feel triggered by this message, I don't feel any way. You shouldn't listen to it. This is solely for the Andromedans, to sea stars on this planet. They have given the warning. This is a sound. This is like the flares going up in the sky, and this is a warning to women. This is for them to protect themselves and their offspring and themselves, and for the future of their families. Okay? I wouldn't let anyone from the hospital touch you or your afterbirth. And I would make sure that you got aunties, mama, and everybody on deck when you're sleeping if you're going to give birth to the hospital in the United States. I would have them sign off and say, if they don't give you your afterbirth, if they don't let you take it home, you get $50,000. That's what they're getting paid. And if they try to force you to get a C-section, you need to question why they're doing it, because it's the C-section after birth is 50,000 and the birth from you pushing a baby out is 30. This is what's going on right now. They're stockpiling your cord blood and they're stockpiling your afterbirth. This is my opinion. So every woman in here, if you are in childbearing age, if you're to the point where you go in the hospital, and if anybody's saying they have to take something out of your body, whether it's your womb, your tubes, your breasts, anything that they touch, your gallbladder, anything, you need to know that that is something that is supposed to happen, and that is something that is directly a necessity for your living. They're taking people's organs. They're taking women's wombs. They're putting it in these. They're using your wombs to put in test tubes, fake wombs, artificial wombs, so that they can start replicating beings outside underneath the grounds to get ready for reset, y'all. The Andromedans said they've already activated the weaponized wand program. I call it the weaponized wand. That's not what they say. They activated men with chips to destroy, and basically their sperm will now be acidic and it will be destroying your wombs. So now little boys who've gotten their shots, or the Kukarachi kill shot, which was the reinforcer that their sperm was going to do something, they are now being activated. Sea stars, if you are in a volatile situation in your house, if you have already a hostile wand in your house, I'm telling you, you need to hatch out a plan, however, to get out of this situation. It is going to end quickly. Artemis was a setup. Artemis was the kill Bill push button. It is activating the weaponized wands, and now you're going to start to see women getting assaulted in ways that you normally wouldn't see. So, so what do you call it? So global, so overt. Please, I listen. What else? uh Sea stars, you have to start to hatch out plans for your family, your children, in case it's like a zombie. We thought the zombie apocalypse was going to be something different, and that's when they said it was like the zombie apocalypse wasn't what we thought. The zombie apocalypse was a genocidal, it was a genocidal gender assault. Women are going to be assaulted in every way possible, whether it's kidnapping, murdering, or extracting their organs. The Andromedans said this is now a war against women, completely, women and children. The males are now going to be activated to hurt the females. This is from the Andromedans, y'all. You don't have to take me seriously. I hope everything I'm saying is a lie. I hope everything is wrong. I hope it's not true. Be careful. be careful out here with your children. Do not let, especially I would be careful. Sun stars, watch your thoughts. If there's males in here who listen to me, you feel triggered by this, you feel like me, I'm talking about, then prove me wrong. Let me know that you're not having thoughts in your head that are all of a sudden coming here. Let me know that the thoughts in your head are not telling you to hurt the women in your life. Let me know that that's not true. I hope this isn't true, but I had to give the warnings. The contact that I was having is a bit of a celebration from them, but also it's a warning because they're seeing that all the women that were asleep to what the agendas were, that literally they were the target of all assaults on earth, all women, all females on earth were the target. Now, the Andromedans in a weird way, and I know it sounds almost narcissistic. It sounds a little, I wouldn't say narcissistic. It's like I told you so. You understand? You ever have a girlfriend that's like she doesn't like your boyfriend? She's always saying, "Oh, your boyfriend's this and that," and you're like, you're just a hater. You've had girlfriends like that where your girlfriends are like, "Oh, your man is in that," and you're like, "Oh, you're just a hater." And then all of a sudden one day he shows all the symptoms, everything, he couldn't hide it, and you see it. And your girlfriend, it's not that she's celebrating it, but she's like, "See." She has vindication. That's how the Andromedans are right now. There's vindication. What they've been sharing with us all these years, they have vindication because now there's no hiding it. There's no hiding anymore. It's going to be overt. Artemis was the activation of the assault on the womb man. It is a woman with a womb. Be careful because you're going to look at other women that have been placating themselves and cosplaying themselves as women. That's why I told you at the beginning, the Andromeda said they purposefully did that program so that you're not going to see every woman being assaulted like that. You're going to see these women like, ha, la, 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 but they're not women. They're not born with wombs. That's why the whole trans thing was pushed so heavy, and it was mostly men to women. So now you're going to see women that you don't know were men walking around living lives, and then you're going to be like, oh, it's not happening to them, so it must not be happening to everyone. No, that was a setup so that you would have enough of a sum of women that aren't women, that look like women, that are placating themselves, that are presented themselves like women, and you won't see them experiencing what women with wombs are. That was to throw the oh, my scarf came on. That was to throw you off. That was literally to throw you off. So, okay, wait. Let me get the message out. So, you have to keep your afterbirth. You have to keep the blood from your baby. I wouldn't give birth. Women, please stop giving abortions. Women of color, they are utilizing your gene pool to make bioweapons against you and us, all of us. Every time, and men in jail. This is such a message. Maybe I should have written. I'm so gaslit. I'm sorry, y'all. Whenever I give a message, there's so many things that were said, and I want to give it to you, but it sounds great. Like, even as I'm saying to you, it sounds crazy. I hate to give it to you like this because it sounds when I'm when I'm saying it, it sounds crazy. Maybe it's the way I'm okay. Um, okay, let me slow down because I want to give you the message and it be credible. They are creating bioweapons with everything that we give them. Women, Planned Parenthood, which I think many brown women already know this. Planned Parenthood was a genocidal. When all these other groups talk about they were genocided, the biggest genocide there was Planned Parenthood. All these melanated children are killed daily. Like there's so many murders of babies that are brown. It's beyond any sort of genocide you would ever see. It was purposefully created um, to murder by Margaret Singer to destroy and murder brown children. I'm talking to the brown sea stars now. Stop getting abortions. If you love your ancestors, if you love yourself, if you love your gene pool, if you love your grandmother, your abuelita, if you love your great grandmother, if you love everything that you stand and you come from, if you love your ancestors, stop killing your babies. Stop doing it. Stop giving them and then killing them and giving them to the enemy. Stop giving your cells to your enemy. Because when you go and have an abortion, it's not just an abortion, y'all. You think it's just, oh my God, I know I'm scared to be a mom. I know that the guy doesn't love me. I know that he's not going to support me. I know I'm going to struggle. It's more than that, y'all. They're taking your genes and your cells and they're going to destroy your lineage in the future. They're using your cells that you give them by consenting to murder of your offspring, to your gene pool, and they're taking it and they're using your cells and they're creating bioweapons directly assaulting your people. Every time a woman goes in there and she has an abortion, they don't throw that away. I think I've talked about this years ago. I talked about um, the blood libel, the blood sacrifice of women and children, but how women were actively sacrificing their babies and they were giving it to a deity that was going to use it to destroy them. It's like you give consent to destroy your gene pool now, but they're going to use it to destroy your gene pool in the future. Stop having abortions. Stop letting men who don't love you and like you inseminate their demons inside of your womb to destroy your peace of mind and to make you destroy your lineage. I know it sounds crazy. Listen, listen, y'all. It's way deeper. It's way deeper than I can ever think you can imagine. It's not that you're just killing that one child, you're killing your future children. You're killing your lineage, you're killing your potentiality. They're taking it and they're encapsulating your genes. They're taking your dead baby cells and they're creating bioweapons to destroy you and your fertility later in life and your children's fertility. Stop getting abortions. Stop having sex with men that don't want children. Stop having sex at all until you're ready to give birth to healthy children safely in a way that you could protect them, protect yourself, and protect your gene pool. It's frightening what they're doing. Um, Men in prison. This message is really not for men, I guess, but for mothers, if you have sons in prison, if you have nephews, if you know men in prison, they're paying them to give away their gene pool. They get paid $50. I think one of the C stars in our group initially had said this, the Andromedans confirmed that the men are getting paid money to ejaculate, to give up their sperm, and they're getting paid to do get biological information and give it away for money for, like they get paid like $50 if they give their sperm. They get $50 if they give blood tests and they do experiments. Those men are also putting us in danger because if they come from our gene pool, they are now giving our gene pool to the diabolical ones and they're using that for bioweapons to create more havoc on our piece of, our auric piece and our genetic piece. What else? Um Moms who are sending their children to school, I don't wanna I hate to scare you. How do I say this? If you can, I don't even think it's a matter of can, you should take them all out of school. I they're what they're setting up to do is they have cameras set up all over the place on school buses, on in schools. A lot of the schools have underground tunnels in them in certain places. They're surveying it's like a roster. They have a roster of what children are there. They watch them. They monitor them. They can also send in frequencies to triangulate specific children that they may want to harvest later. Also, and this is a hard conversation because I know a lot of people may feel a way about this, the adoption of brown children should stop by any other group. For what I understand, the Andromeda said that a lot of diabolicals are going to adopt African children and brown children, and they're using them to bring, like, there are families who know that they can't tolerate the radiation, and those children will be used to harvest as needed for their kidneys, for their spleen. So a lot of people who are adopting children that are specifically black, melanated children, they're doing it to have as like a, it's like a, it's like an organ donor that they're walking around with, so that when their organs start breaking down from radiation, they can tap into those organs, they can start utilizing. So those children are being bought and sold for walking organ donations, just living. So it's like, the story of Hansel and Gretel. People don't realize these stories. The penguins let me know, like Snow White, these are all stories that were told to us, but literally those stories were told to us as like warnings, but we don't take it as that because we're not living in those times. But the story of like Hansel and Gretel, when the witch was fattening them up so she could eat them, it was more literal than you think. There are people that are adopting specifically brown children. It's a heightened amount. It's a big sale now of brown children going to other families all over the world, and they're being sold to be able to fatten up and take care of and making sure they're healthy, so that when it's time, when their organs are breaking down, they will extract these children's organ one by one. And if you think that I'm lying, this is from the Andromedans. You can go and look at stories of the Chinese family that adopted the little brown girl and little this Chinese family that, I remember, it was a mother and father who adopted these a little brown girl and a little brown boy. And I think, which one was it? Was it a little brown boy they killed and they harvested his organs? You don't realize, y'all, we're living right now with these diabolical ones. We got Decepticons, we got bird box chicks like Wild Bird, we got Big Bird, we got all these setups. That's why I say this video is going to be crazy and it's going to gaslight you. But the cool thing about this is me giving this message. The one thing that I'm happy is that you can be the determinant of who and what has access to you. I could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I could be crazy. I could not have contact with anything. I could be lying to you. But if this resonates with you and you feel like this message is meant for you to amp up your security and how you resonate as a mother, as a parent, as an aunt, as a grandmother, as a big brother, a father, then let that be. I'll take all of the responsibility for that. If this makes you into a better caretaker. Um, can you um okay, prisons. Um, there was something else I was supposed to tell you. Um, uh biometrics. They have your biometrics. They're taking your biometrics. Be careful of like or eye um like anything that's asking you to identify with your eyes or take eye what is it? They said something about biometrics. Hold on. It's like that's why I think Miss Mary came to us. Oh, thank you for the donation, my love. Thank you. Thank you. Um Something about the eyes. They're gonna do something with your eyes and try to take eye things. Don't let them do it. Don't volunteer to do it. That's not something, that's my opinion. I think you shouldn't do it. There's something about how they're gonna do something with the eyes. And I don't think, if you remember a couple years ago, I think this was in Africa. Can you guys remind me? I know some of you are on here. We've been on here for a long time. Um I think it was Africa. They did the beta test where they had people and they were going to pay them $200 to get their was it Africa? It was one country in Africa. Many of you, if someone can refresh it, if you remember, it was somewhere in Africa. They were telling people to get eye their eye I don't know, like, to do eye stuff for the phone, like, or I don't know. You remember. I forgot what it's called. It's like a type of biometrics, and they did it with a bunch of these people, and all these people gave consent to doing it. I remember this was like 4 or 5 years ago. We were on Zoom talking about it. I think I was on here as well. They did it. It was like $200. People went in and just volunteered just for the money. They just to do it. They're getting your biometrics. They have to imprint. They have to get your biometrics because they're trying to contain your biometrics and replicate people. Now I'm going to go into the West world. This is another concept that the Andromedans. They don't say West world. When I say I have contact with Andromedans, they give me information, and I translate it in the way that I take it, in the way that I can convey it to you. So a lot of times when I'm saying things like, they wouldn't say bird box, they don't know anything about that. Like, I just convey it in the way that I transcribe the messages. Um, what was I saying? Oh gosh, did I just forget? Oh, Westworld. Um, they're creating duplicates of us in different quantum spaces, like meta spaces. And I think we talked about this many years ago. I'm just going to talk about this again because Andromeda's brought this up. The containing replications of us, because when we go into reset and when we go into like a pole shift, they can't save everybody. They're trying to, remember, they're stockpiling women and children underground. They're going to use them to replicate and create test tube babies. And after the reset, this is the whole concept, the mud floods, the Cabbage Patch children, they reintroduce them to the surface after everything clears up the radiation. But they like certain things about us, the uniqueness of us, our personalities, and they want to keep that so they can replicate it later. They can't keep all the bodies of people with people, but they want your essence. They like somehow you guys express yourself. So what they do is they try to replicate it in the Westworld concept. Like they take what you are and they basically encapsulate it and they throw it into the metaverse like a cloud. So they keep aspects of yourself so that when they come back after reset, after a pole shift, they can resurrect that essence and put that into like social media, or they can imprint it in like a social way so that people replicate it and they can get that aspect of your personality again out in the collective. So be careful what you share with who you are. Be very independent. Stop replicating people. There, remember, I told you, I don't think there's that. The concept is, I don't think there's that many people out here. I think the majority of people that we're interfacing with might in themselves be NPCs or some sort of holographic expression. But the ones who are real, who have independent thought, who are creators, they're unique, that essence is encapsulated. It's very important. It's like it's a asset for them. So they want to encapsulate that aspect and be able to put it in their cloud so that that expression can be reintroduced to a new population so they can see that aspect of you again, that uniqueness again. Remember, we talked about they don't have anything new. They're all looping creatures. They're beings, these kind of beings that are a lot of the beings in here that are lifetime loopers. They're encapsulated in this holographic system. They can't leave. They aren't unable. They're losing. They lost their humanity. That's why you're seeing all this craziness. But that whole Artemis thing was a psyop. It wasn't real. It was meant to make you think they were going up to the moon. And we know that the first moon landing, that's why the date, everything about Artemis, even when you look it up, is all a fake. It has to do with the fake moon landing. And if you think that they did it again, and you think that they put that whole facade out to make it seem like it was real, it's just purposefully, engineer that kind of excitement again so they can feed off of that energy. But that was to activate that huge satellite that looks like a I don't know, it looks like a big, oh god, like it's got all these arms off of it. They're activating it, and it's going to activate not the bird box. It's going to activate the males to hurt and destroy and to ultimately start hunting down females. So if you start seeing more domestic violence, it's purposefully done. It's being activated. The monkey balls that's going to start coming up and activating. Many of you don't realize the monkey balls, that was, everybody took the shots for monkey balls. Nobody remembers that. All of these gay men went and got the shot. No one talks about that. Everybody talks about the Kukarachi kill shot. Everybody talks about the COVID shots, but no one talks about all of these males who went and got the monkey ball shot. Do you realize that's another activation? That's another form of activation. Now, I don't know if that's why the monkey ball thing is being brought up in public eye. Maybe that's another activation to make these males attack. So that's where you get things like Magic Johnson's son, EJ, coming out and saying that he's looking better and he's better than all the females. That might have been the activation of the monkey balls. The monkey balls, maybe the gay males get activated in a different way. So the way that they destroy women is they start to destroy anything unique about women by verbally assaulting them, saying that they're better than them, trying to lure maybe their husbands to engage in sexual deviancy with them. I don't know. But the monkey balls is being activated right now as well. So if you listen in the public, you just have to listen to what they're promoting out here. They brought up monkey balls. Nobody remembers all those males who got monkey ball shots. All the freaky males and males that are homosexual, they all got that shot. That's being activated as well. Um, what can you do, sea stars? I would start building with your own female base and being careful of other females that are Eastern stars. I notice the Eastern stars, and I don't want to target them because remember, it sounds ignorant. And the Andromedans didn't say anything about the Eastern stars. I just got some information about a dirty bird, another dirty bird, a crow woman, another a bird. This one's I call a wild bird. I just got information about her being Eastern star, so I don't want to throw all Eastern stars in the mix because I don't know if it's them. Do you understand? I just know that there's a dirty bird out here who is a Eastern Star, and I noticed that she is a agent, a governmental agent that's activated to lure other women to her so she can take them down in a roster so that they could come after them. So I don't know if it has to do with all Eastern Stars. So that's what I'm saying. This is not them telling me that. I'm just putting that together based on information that I got previously about this wild bird woman who's a whole charlatan who's created ways to trap other women because she has it's weird. I actually think she's some sort of hybrid crow woman. That's a whole nother conversation. I don't know for a fact, but she's got some things going on that makes me think she was hybridized by the government. But I don't know that for a fact. That's just my when I tell you things I know, I tell you what I know. What I tell you things I think, I'll tell you what I think. I think she's some sort of hybrid created by the government, like some sort of chimera that was created in a lab, and she was set out here as a honeypot, not even a honeypot, like a I don't know, like a matriarch pot to set out here to make it seem like she loves women, she's protecting women, but meanwhile in her life, that's not what it shows up. So I would just, um, oh God, I think I'm gonna have company. Okay. Um, I think I'm gonna go. So hold on, I think I have company. So, um, okay. Little distraction, no big deal, nothing. Um, I just would be careful. If someone's an Eastern Star or Eastern Stars, maybe you should talk about it because maybe you would know. I like I said, I don't want to demonize it because it is a another structure of matriarchs within the Mason dynamics, but I don't know too much about them. So I don't want to throw them all under the bus because I don't know that all of them are in on the shenanigans of decimating females. I don't know that. So I can't put them all underneath the bus like that. All right, sea stars. I would be careful. Be careful letting men ejaculate inside of you. That's why I said I hope the children are put away. I wouldn't let any men ejaculate inside of you. They've been activated, and even if they may not know they're going to hurt you, their sperm might be pre-programmed to start to create the Terminator sperm to go inside of your womb and cause havoc in your womb, cause all kinds of like fibroids, cysts inside of you, cause UTIs. Like I hate to say it, but this is what the Andromeda said. They're activated. Activated to the attack on females and the sperm and the bioweapon, weaponized wands. So whenever I think of weaponized wands, I'm thinking of the wands and women having sex with men and having them inseminate inside of them. And if in fact they've been geoengineered for a target. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Hold on. I gotta go. Hold on. Hi. I have company. I see they set things out. Hold on. A mail has come. Hold on. I'll be right back. Okay, I think that's the rest of this message. I gotta go. They sent someone out here. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna end this really quickly, but there's a mail that was sent. So I gotta go. All right. Hope this message was okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.